Are you looking for more out of your life? Do you need ideas on how to start new businesses and how to move forward in your own personal life? Well, guess what? You have come to the right radio show. At You Can Overcome Anything podcast show, you will learn and hear from many people from all walks of life who are sharing their challenges, their stories, the habits, and the mind shifts they had to overcome to become who they are today. On top, you will get a chance to connect and see how you can overcome anything by networking and learning about your next move through this radio show. I present to you our great speakers at You Can Overcome Anything podcast show with your host, Cesar Espino. Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of You Can Overcome Anything podcast show. It is your host, Cesar Espino, and today I have a special guest. His name is Yousef Benhamida. All right, and just to give you a little bit of his background, he is an American inventor, entrepreneur, and an investor, best known as the founder and CEO of Humble's Secret Supplies, one of the top selling plant nutrient brands in the US, with no degree, no investors, and only grit, Google, and a vision. He built a multi-million dollar company from his one bedroom apartment. His path to success came after hitting rock bottom, an experience that drove him to rebuild himself emotionally, physically, and mentally. Today, Yusuf shares his powerful systems for discipline, mindset, and self leadership, helping others break toxic cycles, regain confidence, and achieve lasting results in life, fitness, and business. He's also the author of $1 Million, Hot Girls and a Ferrari, offering a raw and unfiltered truth about what it really takes to level up. Yusuf, how are you, sir?
Hi, I'm good.
Good, good.
Doing good today.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shot.
I'm glad
Took
to have you here. So,
a
before we dive into that, I like the idea of just even reading that, what you've built, and I think that's huge. Tell me a bit about your upbringing and where are you originally from?
Yeah, so I grew up in Boise, Idaho, and Northern California mostly, but that's about it. Yeah. Then I
Yeah,
found myself in Southern California later in life.
got
Uh,
you. Okay, so tell me about tell me more. I mean, like, let's get to know people. People want to know, get
sure,
to know you.
yeah,
Like I know
yeah,
it's the idea of people say, hey, when I grow up, I want to be this person, right? And so, what was that for you?
yeah. So you asked me about my upbringing. I was the youngest of four boys, and I remember when I was 10, I wanted to be a professional athlete, but I didn't have the maybe I lacked enough self-belief in myself. Although
Yeah.
I thought I could be a professional athlete as a kid, but I just didn't have enough backing by my parents and my family. I ended up just wanting to make money. So I was the kid out of all the little league who got the snack stand,
Mm.
got the parents to shop at Costco after the games. I'd sell Gatorades, sell them for $2, paid 50 cents, whatever, and then making a few $100 over the season. I would dumpster dive for Sprite caps for Rocket Cash, going through maggots in the summer for months just to get $200 to buy skateboard stuff. I would sell stuff at school, skateboard party. I sell anything at school.
Wow.
Um, I was on eBay in '99 buying and selling stuff. I was buying anything I got involved in. I always like kind of opened things up. I remember like paintball guns. I had nine paintball guns. I'd buy them, open them up, try to figure out how to fix them and everything, and then I would maybe sell them. So anything I got involved with, I was always wanting to open up, take apart, kind of learn how it was done, and not necessarily honestly asking. Like I would try to find out from other people how to do it, but sometimes just like trying to figure it out for myself, and then just like trying to make some money and because I wanted things and people, my parents wouldn't get them for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my story.
No, and I like
So
that because now that you share that, I mean, then that kind of explains. a lot of things, right? That obviously you we're always trying to find a way to make money and figure out how to make money, right? Even from not having anybody giving you anything, not having the investors or somebody investing in you, and then also the idea of inventing and like breaking things apart and like how does this work, right? And I think that's
Yeah.
pretty unique. I think that kind of comes to what you are now doing. Tell me about your downfall. Tell me about that experience kind of losing everything and then rebuilding.
Yeah. So the main point of the downfall was after I had reached the pinnacle, I had achieved things that I wanted. I had bought a Ferrari with cash. I probably had accrued a net worth of over $1 million. I had gotten a girl, let's say. That probably actually happened late. It was misusing money. That's
Mm,
actually what
mm,
that's actually what my
yeah,
part of my downfall was that it's like what Uncle Ben in Spider-Man says, with great power comes great responsibility, right?
right.
Those numbers are they influence and they can be powerful. You can get what you want, but you have to be careful on what you use them for. So, like me, I went and partied and kind of, I guess a good word would be self-betrayal. I self-betrayed myself by, you know, I drank a bunch. I drank a bunch partying, going out, spent a bunch on nightlife and,
Yeah. Well,
yeah, just,
I gotta tell you that. So that's actually a good point. Let's talk about that. It's kind of like the idea of you hear this, right? Like I don't know the actual statistics on this, but people that win the lottery tend to lose that immediately because they have a negative relationship with money or they don't know how to use the money wisely, right? So tell me some of
yeah,
the lessons learned there, because I think number one, that's the first one. The second one is probably what you just said, right? You probably were partying, just having, the greatest time in your life, I'm sure. I think it was Gary Vee that said, in my 20s, I grind so that I can live a better life in my 30s, right? Whereas the majority of the people
yeah,
are partying in their 20s and then they're grinding in their late 30s or 40s, something like that, right? So tell me about
yeah,
those lessons that you've learned from that.
yeah. Well, I don't really have, I don't really have as much of a desire to blow money leisurely.
Okay.
On things, at least things that like I was doing. There's other things you can spend your money on, maybe invest it into better things. But I kind of lost a little bit of the desire to kind of spend money on things like Ferraris,
Hmm.
um, or just kind of things that don't quite make financial sense as much. I would probably rather spend money on traveling and moving around. But in terms of getting back to your original question, what was it again?
So obviously there's lessons that were learned. I mean, obviously, you can't share that right now, but there was lessons that were learned. Like you said, part of it was, hey, you were the misuse of money,
Yeah,
not having a good relationship with money. Um,
yeah.
Obviously going through that downfall, you've learned lessons. What were those lessons?
Yeah, a lot of lessons.
Go ahead.
uh, yeah, you just you can do a lot of things that'll mess your life up.
Yeah, right,
So yeah, you gotta kind of try to keep things peaceful in your mind. The moment when things start getting a little bit not peaceful, it's kind of a
right.
warning sign. So I mean, there's just so many things I could say, but for the most part, don't pollute your body with drugs and alcohol. Don't blow money leisurely. When sometimes it'll run out. You think it's not going to run out and the income's going to stop coming in, but all of a sudden the lever,
Yeah,
it's like the dam closes on the water, flow, and you're like, oh well, it's not. Sometimes you make it a lot of money, and it can you got to save some for the winter, or for what you can build. You forget when you're blowing money, you could spend it on building a future thing, a future empire. If
right.
I yeah, so I think you just have to, if you're going to blow money, it's just got to be such a small percentage, like a non-noticeable. Like, it has to be like cents, like dollars and cents.
Got you.
Yeah, so I probably I mean, I probably needed like 10 times more money for the amount of money I was spending.
Wow. Okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah. So let's say I was spending $100,000 a year leisurely. I should have been probably making $10 million rather than a
Right,
million.
right. Gotcha.
But you could probably spend $100,000 if you're making $1 million a year leisurely. But I wasn't even making $1 million at that time.
Right.
I was making like a lot less. I later ended up making $1 million or more.
Yeah.
But at that time when I was blowing money, and destroying my health. So it was like a double whammy. I was not only
Yeah.
throwing all my money and my energy saved up, I was destroying my mind and my body, and that also was taking my energy because the energy you can put into your business or building your future is it's kind of like money. You're putting your energy in and your money. They're kind of similar. You can replace your energy with money, or you can replace. You know what I'm trying to say? So
Yep.
I
Yep.
was basically just throwing it all away.
Wow.
So
Yeah. No, no,
probably yeah.
and I'm glad. And so, so here's the other thing too, like you said, right? And so no degree, no investors, obviously after going through that, what was that wake up call? What was that like, man, Yusuf, you got to wake up and do something
Yeah.
different. What was that
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, well, I think it's probably the same what happens for everyone. I mean, I lost all the money came to an end. The income stopped coming. I thought the business was gone. The girl told me I had to sell the car, so I lost everything, and I felt like I was going to kill myself. Like there's no other closer that you can get, or anybody can get to. Oh, I'm going to jump off a cliff because
Mm,
the pay. It's just shock and the loss of your whole life, and it's all gone. And oh my God, I can't believe it. So, you hit rock bottom and then you have a little bit of time and a little bit of pain to reflect.
yeah. Well, and with that said, I mean, and rightfully so. Some people do not know how to bounce back from that, right? Some people, unfortunately,
Yeah.
just don't. And then there's people like you that say, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I had a little bit of time to reflect, whatever the amount of time that was, and say, hey, I'm going to rebuild myself.
Yeah.
And you did. You rebuild yourself emotionally, physically, and mentally, and then you build this great company
Yeah.
that
Well,
took you.
yeah. Yeah.
So, so talk about what was that like? You obviously decided to bounce back. Um, Talk a little bit about how you build yourself emotionally and physically and mentally,
Yeah.
because those are the things you were
Yeah.
talking about.
It's super easy. Okay, I'll go into more detail. I never really told anybody this much detail. I got rid of all the nonsense on Instagram, social media. So even though, let's say I have social media, everybody's muted. I don't follow anybody anymore. I unfollowed everybody later. Like I don't see anybody's stuff. I got rid of everybody who I was like,
Hmm.
toxic. I didn't. I stopped following everybody. Okay, I stopped drinking. I realized I figured out I don't drink alcohol at all.
Mm,
I've actually drank two or three times in the past this year. Awful experiences every time. But anyway,
yeah.
so stop drinking alcohol. So now I got this buildup of energy because I'm not like putting a syringe in my body and like taking the energy out. And that's what alcohol does. I don't care what anybody says. Even one drink, two drinks, you probably drink more. It's like extracting the life force out of you. So I don't drink alcohol. That made me emotionally stronger just by doing that. I'm not as weak anymore. Mentally. And then, just slowly it comes back. You start running, you work out, you play tennis, you stop weakening yourself. And you just eventually build strength over time. And some people call that discipline. I just call it I'm tired of losing and I'm tired
Yes.
of feeling terrible and I'm tired
Right.
of this. And so it's actually, it's not quite discipline. I just remember most people forget everybody. Dude, every single person goes works like for 2 weeks here in Sweden, 3 weeks or a month, and then they have payday, and everybody gets goes out and drinks themselves to death. That's just what happens. Like, and I go out in the middle of the night, or let's say 1 or 2 a.m., just to like go get some food, and everybody's walking around. All these people are drunk, walking around like zombies. They're like been working for weeks, and then they go blow all their money to poison themselves. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of nuts. And you think that it's fun, you think that you're getting a lot of stuff, but there's way more repercussions than that. So that is what has changed my trajectory
Mhm.
significantly. Now I watch these guys that who win like the champions, like all NBA championships, and they're drinking
Yep.
champagne and stuff for all this stuff. So maybe they can drink some champagne and stuff in celebration, but the other way around it looks to me like the Chiefs are getting slaughtered out there. So
Right. Yeah.
that's what
Yeah. No.
yeah, when you're
No, that's awesome, and thanks for sharing. That's part of it. Like I think that it's those things that make you stronger. And the reason why I created this podcast is you can overcome anything because there's certain things that we have to go through to get to where we want to get to, right? And sometimes I tell people that from a some sort of pain, right? Something that you were going through, a purpose was born, and now you rebuild yourself, right? So let's talk about the business you built, right? Because it was all part of that, right? Uh, let's talk about the
Yeah.
business you built and the company that you created off of
Yeah.
this.
So it's the same company. I never got it. It's been the
Okay.
same company from the
So just
beginning. I never the business bounced back.
got you. Okay. So, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's even huge. I think that's even huge because you could have lost it all. And it was, like you said, the money stopped
Yeah.
coming in. And you're like, let
Yeah.
me refocus and get back into that. Okay.
Yeah, no. So I pivoted. I fixed things. I cleaned a lot of things up. I worked on a lot of things. I came up with some new items, made things more efficient, and the market bounced back in combination with some other things, and staying alive long enough.
Hmm.
Simply staying alive long enough was one of the biggest factors. It's like, okay, like me and you set sail from here to some island we want to go to, and we hit stormy weather.
Yeah.
Things are all bright and sunny. Then we hit some crazy stormy weather, and me and you are sitting there, and we have a little bit. We have some food left, but like our engine's dead, and we can't continue to go. And so me and you just look at each other like, what should we do? It's like, well, we can't really do anything. Like we've spent so much time getting out here, and I guess we have some food left. So I guess it was just we can't go anywhere. And then eventually, all of a sudden, the wind picks up and like
Right.
blows us, keeps blowing us. And we're like, "Ooh," that's kind of what happened, sort of.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, I love that though. That's awesome. Um, and so now you mentioned something about, are you not also helping other people, or you just through your book sharing ideas on people
Yeah.
rebuilding themselves, or do you do any of that?
I wrote the book. I'm talking to people like you, and I'll cut it up, and I'm going to blast it out on all my
Hmm.
social networks. So I feel like me talking about all this stuff and giving people the ability to buy the book and learn more about
Yeah,
other items is that's pretty much as I can do. Other than unless somebody, I haven't really made it a big focus, or it's not my
yeah,
my priority to try to talk to people one on one at this moment. I've had kids like contact me and say, "Hey, I want to," maybe they look up to me or something, and so I'll talk to them a little bit. But
yeah. Where did the idea come about writing the book, $1 Million Hot Girls in Ferrari? Your lifestyle for sure. But
I,
but yeah, the untold truth, where did that come about?
yeah. Well, yeah, I remember what happened. I think I was in a lot of pain from like some breakups and other things not going right, and I was really kind of mad. And I
Mhm.
think I wrote it out of a little bit of not anger, but like I want to it's time to write a book. Sometimes you know it's like time to write a book, time to tell a story.
Yeah.
Uh Felt like I could help a lot. I felt like it was a lot of stuff that I think people should know. A lot of people, some of the stuff I hadn't read it, some of the stuff in there, or at least all combined into one
Yep.
one thing. I don't think it's there. So people say you got to write a book or do this, but you got to have it's got to be you got to be able to tell a story. So I never thought I actually was able to tell a story. So eventually
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, I think I might be able to tell a story. And I think sometimes, your mind is like the same reason why you came up with this
Yeah.
podcast, or the same reason why you do anything. You have like thoughts pop in your head, and then eventually like, maybe, yeah, I think I'm ready to do this. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I just wanted to do it. Yeah. I think maybe
No,
yeah.
that's awesome. So t tell me about so you obviously changed a lot of things in your life, stop drinking alcohol, which is good because then, you know, I can only imagine when you were at the bar and, swiping that card, that was a big deal for you,
Dude.
right?
Dude, I spent a lot, dude. I spent a lot dude. I go to the bar.
Yeah.
I'll spend $700 at a bar.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, but it's not like I'm buying my drinks.
No, you're buying
I'll
like
buy a bunch of. I'm buying a lot of
you're
drinks.
like drink for
Yeah,
everybody, right? Kind of thing. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
Not a good, yeah. So I don't know if the money flies out of me, so
Yeah,
not a good idea for me to be
you
around
can
the
definitely save
bar.
a lot of money by not and, throwing money at a couple of drinks, and depending on where you are, that could be very expensive too. So do you have any? I know you said that it's more of you just thinking about it, not necessarily disciplines, but what are the non-confronts that you gotta do every day? Like, what do you do daily to kind of keep you up and going, energetic,
Yeah,
positive mindset kind of stuff?
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I don't really feel great every day because
Hmm.
I'm working on the computer
Right.
and doing stuff until I can't go anymore. It's not, I don't have a bedtime. I go until I get like delirious, and I just like, I'm like I can't.
Yeah.
I just fall asleep. So I wake up and I probably am not well rested enough. But what I'll try to do, and I found that it kind of get the same. I feel kind of similar days in a row. Is so I've asked ChatGPT. I've kind of told it how I want to look appearance wise, weight. Look
Mm,
similar to somebody else I know, fit and skinny. So I told it everything over 4 or 5 days about my diet, what I was eating, rearranged and learned a lot of what to eat. I lost 13 pounds.
nice.
So instead of 183, I went to 170. Even just fat dripped off my body. So that obviously that diet has had a huge difference
Was this
of
over a
how
period
I
of a
feel on a
week
daily.
or what period was that?
Yeah, so months ago, like 4 months ago,
Gotcha.
I was ChatGPT was working for everything,
Yeah.
a lot of things. So I was just like, oh, I took pictures of everything in my fridge. I just basically gave it all the data. Every time I was about to eat or what I was about to do, I told it, and it said what I should do. So after like a week or several weeks in different locations, long story short,
Yeah.
of doing that, I kind of relearned what to eat, what to not eat,
Yeah.
how much to eat of something, and so that has had a huge difference of how I feel on a day-to-day basis. Other than that, just drink a little bit of coffee and I'll try to take a cold shower at the end for like 40 seconds, and
Mm,
that definitely wakes you up.
yeah.
That definitely wakes you up.
Yeah.
Just get some sunlight, try to move around, stretch. Me personally, I feel it if I'm like, oh man, I need to go run outside, or I gotta, work out or something. So I think when the moment that you don't feel good, you're just like, oh, I gotta go run that off. I gotta go. So there's a combination of those sorts of things. That's all I kind of do
Yeah, for
in
sure.
terms to that I've seen similar days.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, I mean, you're working, and I don't think anyone has ever a good day. It's just how you go about
Yeah.
your day, right? How you go about accepting what is in front of you, right? Um,
Yeah.
do you feel like if you were to look at what's your purpose now? What is your um,
Yeah.
where are you headed now, right? Obviously, you've made drastic changes. It's helped you. You're in a better state
Yeah.
of mind. What's next for you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still on the inclination up.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. This unfortunate thing is some of these things take a bit of time when you're trying to build a big bridge that can like the Golden State Bridge.
Yep. Right.
It's got to take a lot of time to build that bridge, but when it's done, a lot more, it's kind of a lot more cars can go over it, but it takes a
Right.
lot of time to build, sadly. Uh, so I just like making products, selling a lot of products.
Yeah.
I kind of like the whole manufacturing thing, under making a product, and then literally making it, like making the
Like a model.
units.
Yeah.
Yeah, like making the prototype, and then
Yep.
making tons of them, and then selling them. Kind of get a kick out of that. It's basically like having the whole end-to-end supply chain from the
Gotcha.
beginning. And yeah, I just try not to do things that are
Yeah.
bad for me. But I mean,
And,
I
and,
try to keep it. I mean, it's kind of trying to keep it simple, to be honest.
well, and one thing that you kind of mentioned at the beginning is it seems like you like to, at least you say you prefer to travel and kind of see that side of the world versus blowing your money on things that are not necessarily, you know, useful in terms of going to the same place at the same, like maybe
It's
seeing different sightseeing in different places. That's something that you kind of enjoy.
yeah, yeah, and also, but you know, it's kind of like Groundhog Day. If you stay in the same place, you do the same things every single day. That
Hmm.
movie Bill Murray was true.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day is real, and I think you can do that until you are met with enough dissatisfaction to where you just can't do it anymore. There's
Right.
a point. There's a point at which it reaches everybody.
Yeah, for
Sometimes
sure.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. So
No, I get that. Tell me a little bit about the products. What are some of the best selling products that you have, or that people should kind of look at? Hey, maybe I need to have this and get some of these products from it.
yeah. I mean, I make I right now I make liquid and powdered fertilizer for plants. If they're really a plant enthusiast, they can probably go to the website Humboldt's Secret Supplies and shop for plant food. But I thought the book that I wrote
Hmm.
targeted more people because I feel like it's good for men out there, younger men. There's no way that a young kid's gonna know everything in that book. It's
Right.
like without it. I mean, I don't know how that would be possible because. Uh, so yeah, the most I would say that there's a large percentage chance that there's some things for them to learn in my book,
Yeah, for sure.
whether or not they agree with everything.
Yeah, exactly. Where can people find your book? Is it on Amazon or?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on Amazon, Audible. They can listen to it on Amazon and Audible. So
Okay.
yeah, it's on my website too, but Amazon and Audible, it's just so much
Yeah,
easier.
gotcha. What's your contact information? What's your website? Where can people
It's
find you?
just my it's just my name, yousefbenhamida.com.
Okay. So that they can find anything about you and all the stuff you have going on. Yeah. You've answered a lot of different things and maybe this is not redundant, but see if I can get one last thing out of you. For people that are watching the show that might be going through something challenging, whatever that might be, what is one thing or a couple of things they can do to start overcoming that challenge?
Yeah, it's one thing. Well, I would think that it would depend on what they're trying to overcome.
Yeah.
It's difficult to answer. It's like a car is driving. You don't know if the tire's flat or if it's out of oil or if it needs some gas or if it needs just a wax. You don't really know.
Right.
So, but there's obviously something wrong if they're feeling like that, and I don't quite know.
Yeah. So it's a moment, and I like that. And well, I know it might be a little bit different person to person, and obviously there's a lot of people that are watching this, right, and listening to this. But I like what you just said, and I think part of it is really getting to one, being aware. What are you going through, right? The
Yeah,
awareness of whatever you're feeling or you're going through. Number two could probably be the discovery of what that might look
yeah,
for you. And so what can they do after the fact? Let's just say you're aware, you discover, you acknowledge there's something going on. What are some things that maybe in a general perspective people can do to not give up, to keep pushing forward?
yeah. I honestly think it happens almost automatically for me.
Mm,
I think that when I stopped, I, I think it was way harder when I would drink any amount of alcohol. I know I
mm,
keep saying alcohol, but everywhere I go, people are drinking alcohol.
yeah.
It doesn't give you energy. It takes it away from you.
Mm,
And so it makes it a little harder. So that's just like one thing, but it's that everybody's doing it. So odds
yeah,
are they're drinking a little
100%.
bit of alcohol. And when you stop, it'll maybe make you, feel a little bit weird. It'll give you a little bit more energy. And now you have a little bit more energy to go and do other things. So I just think it's kind of like mischanneled energy. You're sedating the energy that you could have used to fix your problems, but now it's just so much harder. It's like trying to run up a mountain. When you get to the mountaintop, your problems are fixed,
Yeah,
but it's a lot harder to run up the mountain even if you're slightly hungover. So that's the way I
sure.
see it. It just all the everything cleared started to clear up when my mind cleared up.
Mm,
So I personally think it happens a little bit automatically
yeah,
once you realize what the problems are, and then eventually me, I kind of get bothered, and if like things are dirty, so I'll just clean them or whatever. So just wanting to fix things, but I
yeah.
think realizing what your problems are is probably one of the hardest parts. I didn't know I had these problems. That was like one of the biggest epiphanies when I realized, oh my
Mm,
God, oh, it's a revelation. Oh my gosh, I just needed to know this information. Now, if I just do this now, I think most people don't actually. I think a lot of people are delusional. I think most people don't really know what's going on in it. And sometimes they just want to talk to people and tell them about things, especially girls. No
Yeah.
offense to girls, but yeah, they just want to tell them about their stuff. They don't actually want to be told, "Hey, you suck in this area, all these areas, blah, blah, blah." But they don't want to hear that. People get offended and they don't want to do it. It only helps when people kind of realize it on their own. So
Mhm.
that's the hardest part for people to realize what's wrong with them on their own that's getting in their way. I honestly think that's like the hardest part is
Yeah.
self-realization. And yeah, that's my
No,
I
no,
think
that's huge, and I hear you, and I'm kind of reflecting on that, and you're right. I mean, I just came from a trip too, and I'm just like, every day from like whatever 8 a.m. to like midnight, people were drinking, and like just seeing all these things, and realize that maybe people say, yeah, we're having a great time, but it's temporary, and not knowing what they're doing to themselves. Number one, number two, I like the idea of you got to be in that discovery phase, and you mentioned that too, like that having that part of that is also having that self-confidence and believing in yourself, right? That you can go through whatever you're going through and that you can come ahead on the other side, having that self-confidence that you don't need maybe part of what I'm hearing is you don't need nobody's validation but yours. You have to be the one take that step forward in anything, right? And I think that's huge. Because a lot of times we're, if you're a man, you're trying to get validation from a female, from alcohol, from friends. If you're a female, it's the other way around too, right? And you're trying to get that validation from somebody else, that
yeah.
external validation. And I like the thing you said too is that you shut out and kind of got rid of social media because there's a lot of noise there, definitely. And a lot of times now people use social media as a level of validating your worth and or who you are, right? And so I think there was a lot of great points that we touched on for sure.
Yeah, the validation has to come from in internal. If you seek the external validation, it's not as good.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Well, Yusuf, I mean, this was definitely an amazing conversation. I really enjoyed a lot of the points that we talked about. Any last minute words you want to share?
Any other questions?
No. Where in California are you? You said so. Are you coming back to Southern California?
I'm in San Diego. I
Okay,
live normally in San Diego, yeah.
got
So,
you, got you. Yeah. Well, you're not too far from me. I'll actually be in Carlsbad next week. So
oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So, all right. Well, no, I don't have anything else for you. Again, thank you again for being here. I think it was amazing having this conversation, and then definitely people need to go out and check on your website and get your book for sure.
Sure.
All
Well,
right.
thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And for the rest of you guys, do me a favor. Please make sure that you guys share this message because I do believe that somebody definitely needs to hear it. And I will see you guys for the next episode of You Can Overcome Anything Podcast Show. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cesar Espino, real estate investor, business coach, and consultant, and author of the book, You Can Overcome Anything, Even When the World Says No. My number is 424-501-6046. In my book, I talk about making the necessary changes to shift your mind for prosperity and certainty. Pick up your copy at Amazon. I also love helping families with their real estate and can purchase your house fast and all cash. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. My number is 424-501-6046. Thank you for having me today. I am so glad you've tuned into this podcast. You can find me at your favorite podcast platform where you can like, subscribe, comment, and share. And to learn more about myself, my services, you can find me at www.cesarrespino.com, or you can also find me at your social media. Thanks for joining me, and I am looking forward to having you at the next episode. And know you truly can overcome anything.